The Indonesian National Police is the police force of Indonesia. It was formerly a part of the Indonesian National Armed Forces. The police were formally separated from the military in April 1999, a process which was formally completed in July 2000. The organization is now independent and is under the direct auspices of the President of Indonesia, while the Armed Forces is under the Ministry of Defense. Until this day, the Indonesian National Police is and still holds control of law enforcement and policing duties all over Indonesia nationally. The organization is widely known for its corruption, violence and incompetence. The Indonesian National Police is also taking part in international UN missions. The Indonesian police force has been providing security and protection to internally displaced persons for nearly 1.5 years, while Indonesia's formed police units have been a very capable and integral part of UNAMID's mandated task of protecting people of Darfur. The strength of the Indonesian National Police stood at approximately up to 387,470 in 2011, and the number is increasing every year. It also includes up to 12,000 water police personnel and an estimated 40,000 people's security trainees who serve as a police auxiliary and report for 3 weeks of basic training each year. The headquarters, known as Markas Besar Mabes in Indonesian, is located in Kebayoran Baru, South Jakarta, near the National Police Museum. History. When large parts of Indonesia was under Dutch colonial occupation until the 1940s, police duties were performed by either military establishments or colonial police known as the Veldpolitie of the Field Police. Japanese occupation during WW II brought changes when the Japanese formed various armed organizations to support the war. This had led to the distribution of weapons to military-trained youths, which were largely confiscated from the Dutch armory. After the Japanese occupation, the National Police became an armed organization. The Indonesian Police was established in 1946, and its units fought in the Indonesian National Revolution against the invading Dutch forces. The police also participated in suppressing the 1948 Communist revolt in Madiun. In 1966, the police was brought under the control of Armed Forces Chief. Following the proclamation of independence, the police played a vital role when they actively supported the people's movement to dismantle the Japanese army, and to strengthen the defense of the newly created Republic of Indonesia. The police were not combatants who were required to surrender the weapons to the Allied forces. During the Revolution of Independence, the police gradually formed into what is now known as Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia of the Indonesian National Police. In 2000, the police force officially regained its independence and now is separate from the military. Duties and tasks. The key tasks of the Indonesian National Police are to maintain security and public order, enforce the law, and provide protection and service to the community. In carrying out these basic tasks, police are to perform control, guard, escort and patrol of the community and government activities as needed, supplying all activities to ensure the safety and smoothness of traffic on the road, to develop community awareness, as well as in the development of national law, implement order and ensure public safety, implement coordination, supervision, and technical guidance to the investigators, civil servants, authorities, and the forms of private security, implement the investigation against all criminal acts in accordance with the criminal procedure law and other legislation, implement identification such as police medical operations, psychology, and police forensic laboratory for the interests of the police task, protect soul safety, property, society, and the environment from disturbances and/or disaster, including providing aid and relief to uphold human rights, serving interests of citizens for a while before it is handled by the agency and/or authorities, give services to the public in accordance with the interests of the police task environment, to implement other duties in accordance with the legislation which in practice regulated by government regulation, receive reports and/or complaints, crowd and public control, help resolve community disputes that may interfere with the public order, supervising the flow that can lead to the dismemberment or threaten the unity of the nation, publicizing police regulations within the scope of police administrative authority, implementing special examination as part of the police identification, respond first and rapid action to a scene, take the identity, fingerprints and photograph of a person for identification purposes, looking for information and evidence, organizing National Crime Information Center, issuing license and/or certificate that is required to service the community, give security assistance in the trial and execution of court decisions, the activities of other agencies, as well as community activities to receive, secure, and keep founded lost items for a while until further identification. Organization. POLRI is a centralized national bureaucracy. As a national agency, it has a large central headquarters in Jakarta. The regional police organization parallels exactly the hierarchy of the Indonesian civic administration, with provincial police commands to cover provinces, district commands for districts, sub-district commands and community police offices apolmas to service individual villages. The Indonesian police force is not to be confused with the municipal police of Indonesia, which is known in Indonesian as Satpol PP, which is the municipal police unit of Indonesia. The uniform is slightly different with the Indonesian police, which is mainly all khaki, where in the other hand the Indonesian police force wear brownish grey and dark brown. There are confusing terminological differences between some police commands. This derives from certain normative features of Indonesian governance, Indonesian political culture, or elevates the capital district of a province from other districts in the same province, though all have the same functional powers. Similarly, the capital province of the country enjoys special normative status over other provinces, though in practice all have the same governmental responsibilities. The Indonesian police structure continues this by creating a special command for the province of Jakarta, and special commands for capital city districts and cities. Nevertheless, all of Indonesia's police district commands and all the provincial commands have the same powers and duties. As an additional complication, super-large provinces like East, West and Central Java have intermediary coordinating commands designed to enhance coordination between provincial commands and districts. However, POLRI has a stated commitment to dismantle these will in the near future. Internal police culture is doctrinaire and hierarchical, and the organization reflects this. The design and duties of polders and pols are determined by central edict. Current standing orders determine that all provincial police are divided into 3 streams: A1, B1 and B2. The structure of these polders is more or less the same, with each possessing a directorate of detectives, narcotics, traffic police, intelligence, specialist operational units, as well as support detachments like the provosts, Binamitra, etc. What truly differentiates polders is the resource base. Within POLRI, a tripartite matrix is applied to allocate personnel, money and equipment. This matrix is based upon a province's square area, population size and reported crime rate. The same matrix is also applied to divide resources between pols. Turning to examine the pols. The pols is in essence the backbone of the Indonesian police. It bridges bridges the purely operational units with the higher planning, strategic elements of the structure. In the Indonesian police, a Pols is termed the Komando Satuan Dasar. This means that a Pols has substantial autonomy to implement its own activities and mount its own operations. Regarding the structure of a Pols is in effect a scaled-down version of a polder. Below is a cross-section of an average B1 level Pols in the province of Yogyakarta. This data derives from a recent PhD dissertation. Pols A has 14 separate detachments. 7 of these detachments can be described as support elements. These support elements consist of an operations planning section, a community policing section, an administration section, a telecommunications detachment, a unit P3D, a police service center, a medical support group, and the Pols Secretariat. Based on 2007 data, these support areas were staffed by 139 personnel. The largest support unit was the Pols Service Center, with 51 police. These 7 support elements back up the work of Pols A's 7 other operational units as well as the 19 sub-district police precincts in this particular district. The optional and sub-district commands execute Polri's operational tasks. Pols A has 1 traffic police unit, 1 vital strategic object protection unit, 1 police patrol unit, 1 narcotics investigation unit, 1 detective unit, a special tourist protection task force, and a police intelligence unit. These detachments have a combined strength of 487 personnel. The largest numbers are in the patrol unit and the traffic unit. Added to the optional personnel at the Pols headquarters are 1288 other police in 19 sub-district Polsecs. In 2007 this gave Pols a police-to-population ratio of around 1 police officer to 526 civilians. The allocation of the budget in Pols A is also illuminating for determining where police priorities are. In 2007, Pols A had a planned budget of Rp. 62.358 billion. Of this Rp. 56 billion and 90% was spent on wages and office expenses. Thus, as with most organizations, personnel costs absorb the lion's share of resources. In terms of the operational budget, some Rp. 4 billion or 6% was spent on daily activities and special operations. The remaining 4% was divided between community policing, intelligence gathering and criminal investigation. Corruption. In the eyes of the people, the national police force is corrupt, brutal, and inept. Even becoming a police officer can be expensive, with applicants having to pay up to Rp. 90 million, according to Indonesia Police Watch head Neta Saputra. In the 28th of June 2010 and the 21st of April 2013, numerous Tempo magazines are bought in extremely numbered all over Jakarta by a group of people that wearing the police uniforms. Tempo said that the magazines are lifted some police officials' secret bank account containing $1 million of United States dollar and exclusive property in South Jakarta. In April 2009, angry that the Corruption Eradication Commission had tapped his phone while investigating a corruption case, Indonesian Police Chief Detective Susno Dwaji compared the KPK to a gecko fighting a crocodile, meaning the police. Susno's comment, as it turned out, quickly backfired because the image of a Sikh standing up to a buyer immediately had wide appeal in Indonesia. An noisy popular movement in support of the Sikh quickly emerged. Students staged pro-Sikh demonstrations. Many newspapers ran cartoons with Sikhs lining up against an ugly buyer, and numerous TV talk shows took up the Sikh versus buyer topic. with enthusiasm. As a result, references to Sikhs fighting a Bayu have become a well-known part of the political imagery of Indonesia. In June 2010, the Indonesian news magazine Tempo published a report on fat bank accounts held by senior police officers containing billions of rupiah. When the magazine went on sale in the evening, groups of men said by witnesses to be police officers went to newsstands with piles of cash to try to buy all the copies before they could be sold. When KPK investigators tried to search Polri headquarters in 2010 as part of an investigation into Joga Susilo, then the head of Korlantas, they were detained, and only released following the intervention of the President, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. Following a trial, Joga was jailed for 18 years. 2 years later, the KPK began investigating another senior police officer, Budi Gunawan, who was subsequently nominated for the post of National Police Chief. The KPK then named Budi as suspect and his nomination was withdrawn. However, he was later sworn in as Deputy Police Chief. The police subsequently took revenge by charging 3 KPK commissioners with criminal offences. In Bali, corrupt officers routinely extort bribes from tourists. In 2013, a YouTube appeared of a policeman demanding Rp 200,000, which he then used to buy beer, which he drank with the tourist. In 2014, Budi Gunawan, the National Police Chief Assistant candidate, was being investigated by the National Corruption Commission for about 2 days after they found out that his income shows something strange. Media believe that he was protected by some big people, and many people disagree when he was chosen as the National Police Chief Assistant. Until now, many books and murals described Budi Gunawan and the police for the corruption, violence and human rights abuses. Amnesty International has accused Polri of widespread torture and other abuses of arrested individuals. According to the organization, police in Indonesia shoot, beat and even kill people without fear of prosecution, leaving the victims with little hope of justice. In 2014, the Human Rights Watch reported that a physical virginity test is routinely performed on female applicants to the police force. Human Rights Watch decried the practice as unscientific and degrading. An official admission of violence by police officers came in 2016 when Chief Gen. Badruddin Haiti admitted that officers of the Detachment 88 anti-terror unit were responsible for the death in custody of terrorist suspect Siono, who died of heart failure after being kicked hard enough in the chest to fracture his ribs. Special Police Units. Mobile Brigade Corps. The Mobile Brigade police force of Indonesia, or is the elite special forces of the Indonesian National Police. BRIMOB is the paramilitary force of Indonesia and takes the duties for handling high-level threat of public security, also special police operations. This unit also becomes the backup force for the riot control purposes. The personnel of this unit are identifiable with their dark blue berets. The Mobile Brigade is also known as the Special Anti-Riot Branch of the Indonesian National Police, which deals with special operations. A paramilitary organization, its training and equipment is almost identical to the Indonesian Army's, and it conventionally operates under Joint Military Command in areas such as Papua and, until 2005, ACEH. Gegana, GEGANA is an internal unit of the BRIMOB Special Police Corps who have special abilities in the field of anti-terrorism, bomb disposal, intelligence, anti-anarchist, and handling of chemical, biological, and radioactive threats. Its main specialty are bomb disposal and explosives treatment during in urban settings. Detachment 88. The Detachment 88 Densus 88 is an Indonesian police special forces squad specialty in the field of counter-terrorism. Their identities are usually kept secret, and usually operate with unmarked Toyota Kijang vehicles. Police units. There are several units within the National Police of Indonesia which is known as Kasatgan, which are Sabara. Sabhara is the main public unit of the National Police of Indonesia that directly supervises the public order and public security. It is the most common police unit in the country which actively conducts patrolling and community service. This unit becomes the first dispatch for standard law enforcement, policing activities and public matters affairs. The Sabara unit is also the first dispatched force for riot control before seeking backup from the Brimob unit if the riot gets more violent. The personnel of this police unit are identifiable with their dark brown berets and usually are stationed in mostly police offices or police stations across Indonesia. Traffic Police Corps. Website. http. Lantas. Polri. Go.It. The Traffic Police of Indonesia is the traffic police law enforcement unit of the Indonesian National Police Force, which have specialty in duty for directing, controlling, patrolling, and to take action in traffic situations in the streets, roads, and highway of the country. This unit also serves for the issuing of the driving license in Indonesia. They are very common in the streets and always take part in a traffic accident. In 2012, about 30 police officers were sent to the Netherlands National Police to learn about the traffic accident analysis, or simply TAA. Maritime Police Force website. http. Polar. Polri. Go.It. The Indonesian Maritime Police Force is the water police force of Indonesia which guards and secures the sea and coast of Indonesia. This unit also takes action in illegal fishing activities and conducts law enforcement of fishermen and the boats' registrations in the naval territory of the Republic. The headquarters and training facility are in Kepulauan and Seribu. Police Aviation. The Police Aviation of Indonesia is a police unit in charge of conducting policing and law enforcement functions throughout and for the air territory of the Republic of Indonesia. It is in order to provide support for police operations to be observed from the air and to enable assistance for police duties such as ground support, search and rescue, and air patrol observations. The helicopter identifiable of this police unit is usually colored white and blue in Indonesia. Tourism Police. The Tourism Police is a police unit for tourist services. They are sometimes identifiable with a unique Indonesian police uniform with dark brown cowboy hats and short pants, and usually conducts patrolling along the beaches of Indonesia, especially in Bali. Vital Object Protection. Mobile is an Indonesian police unit for vital protection and usually secures international embassies and consulate in Indonesia and VIP escort, but sometimes they protecting beaches, temples and churches in some case. The vehicles are colored orange, same as the airport police car, and usually parked outside of the embassies in Indonesia. The personnel of this unit wear additional neckties and usually wear peaked cap for the uniform. Seaport Police. KPP3 is an element of the Indonesian National Police which has the main task to assist the port administrator in organizing security at the port area along the common discipline in the context of utilization and exploitation of the port. Bareskrim. Bareskrim or RESKRIM, LIP, Criminal Investigation Agency, is an internal police unit of the Indonesian National Police. Its main duty is to investigate criminal activity and crime identification. Security Intelligence Agency, BINTELKAMPOLI, is one of the main tasks of police executing agency in the field of intelligence. PUSLABFOR. PUSLAB for a simply LABFOR is the abbreviation of which is a unit for the agency and investigation in the field of forensics and laboratory purposes. NCB Interpol. The International Criminal Police Organization, also called ICPO Interpol, is a joint organization for the handling of cross-country crime. In 1954, Indonesia became a member of ICPO Interpol and established the National Central Bureau as a police agency to maintain cooperation between countries within the scope of ICPO Interpol. In addition to the handling of transnational crimes, this unit maintains cooperation with foreign police elements in the matter of criminal activity involving national and international links. The NCB Interpol are very important for the agency because many corrupt government officials like to escape to another country, especially Singapore. The NCB is headquartered at JL Trunojoyo 3 Kebayoran Baru near the National Police Headquarters and the ASEAN Secretariat Building. Subdit SATWA Subdit Satwa K9 is an Indonesian police unit in the specialization of wildlife and animal agency. This unit provides K9 dogs for police activity and investigation. Directorate of Narcotics and Drugs. This police unit is known as a police unit responsible for the handling and prosecution of illegal drugs and narcotics. DIVPROPAM, or is known as DIVPROPAM, is the internal affairs of the Indonesian National Police. This police unit supervises and maintains discipline in the internal scope of the National Police. Personnel of this unit are identifiable with the blue berets and wear dark blue brassard printed Prov. Police operational centers. In the country, the police services in the community are made into several posts or office which represent a region. POS Police is the police post. It is usually stationed near traffic intersections for traffic police posts and are also available in public places and public transportation stations. POLSUBSEK A police subsector is the police station for a specific smaller region or village. The level is below of a polsek and level as to above a polpus. POLSEK A police sector is the police office for a specific sub-district or kecamatan. For example, POLSEK Kuta. POLRESBC Reza is the police base for a city. For some big cities, sometimes it is known as POLRESDABES or POLRESDA, which is the abbreviation of Police Reza Kota, Kota Besar. For example, POLRESDA Denpasar. Polda Police Daerah is the police headquarters for a province. For example, Polda Bali. Firearms. The standard issue sidearm to all Indonesian National Police officers is the Taurus Model 82 revolver in .38 Special, while police personnel attached to special units such as Detachment 88, Gegana and BRIMOB are issued with the Glock 17 semi-automatic pistol. Heavy arms are always available to Indonesian police personnel, such as the Heckler & Amp Koch MP5 submachine gun, Remington 870 shotgun, Steyr August assault rifle, M4 carbine and other weapons. The standard rifle for the Indonesian National Police are the Pindad SS-1 and the M16 rifle. Units are also issued the Sabara Police V1 V2 Pindad SS-1 Special Law Enforcement Assault Rifle.